This isn't just the story of a death. It's the story of how power dies, not by war, not by enemies, but by friendship. Let's go back. The Roman Republic is bleeding. Corruption, betrayal, war. And in the middle of it all, Julius Caesar, general, orator, strategist, loved by the people, feared by the Senate, hated by the old elites. But Caesar had a gift. He didn't just conquer with armies, he conquered with vision. He saw what Rome could be, strong, unified, new. And so he did what no one dared. He crossed the Rubicon. He entered Rome, not as servant, but as master. And the world changed. Now here's where it matters. In his rise to power, Caesar made enemies and crushed them. But there was one man he didn't crush. Because he couldn't. Because he loved him. Marcus Junius Brutus. They weren't just allies, they were bonded. Caesar pardoned him after war, brought him into his inner circle, honored him like a son. While others feared Brutus's bloodline, Caesar embraced it. Better to have him near, he said. Better to have his loyalty. But loyalty is never guaranteed. Not in politics, not in war, not in power. Brutus was conflicted. The Senate whispered, "He's becoming a tyrant. He will name himself king. You are the last protector of the Republic." And Brutus, torn between gratitude and legacy, chose legacy. They planned it. The timing, the names, the daggers, and then the Ides of March. Caesar enters the Senate. He sees familiar faces. Men he's forgiven, promoted, elevated. And then he sees Brutus, his friend, his son, his mistake. When the blades pierced his body, he did not cry out in pain. He cried out in recognition. Et tu, Brute? 3 words that shook history, not because Caesar was naive, but because in that moment he understood everything. He had trusted a friend and forgotten what friends can become. Let's pause, because this is the heart of law too. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Friends expect favor. They expect reward. They feel entitled to your power. And when they don't get it, they turn. Enemies don't expect anything, which is why, when you show them purpose, respect, even survival, they become loyal, because they know the cost of losing you. Had Caesar surrounded himself with former enemies, men with something to prove, not something to reclaim, he might have lived. But he chose affection over strategy, loyalty over leverage, and in the end, he died not from the blade, but from blind trust. Brutus didn't win. He didn't become a hero. He became a ghost, haunted, hunted, and dead within 2 years. But Caesar became immortal. His death ended the Republic. It birthed an empire. It etched his name into every wall of history. But if you ask why he died, the answer is clear. He trusted a man who had everything to lose by staying loyal. So what do? Test your friends. Keep your enemies close. Never give your throne to someone who grew up in your shadow. Because one day he will ask himself, why do I serve a man I could replace? And when that day comes, he won't need an army, just your trust.